Hi everybody, it's Jane with Rural Haze and welcome to Rural Haze Chat. Today we are talking about Rural Haze. I guess this is kind of a meet the owner type of deal. So I feel like someone else should be here asking me these questions, but they just decided to make it as awkward as possible and have me just sit here by myself. So let's get started. Let's see, tell the Rural Haze story, startup, and where did it come from? So actually, in order to tell the story, we've got to go back to when I was a wee little baby. Just kidding, when I was like 8. And my mom made us all take sewing lessons. And so I think it was every Wednesday after school, we would go take sewing lessons from this lady. And I can't remember how many years we had to do it, but I was in sewing in 4-H and made blankets and pillows and dresses and outfits and stuff. And I'm pretty sure quite often she heard from me, this is ridiculous. I am never going to use this. This is, you know, like it's not the 1960s, all this stuff. I had all these opinions on why I shouldn't have to learn how to sew. Fast forward about 15 years, and a girlfriend of mine was actually, I think she was going to a football game and she wanted some type of like a headband, but she wanted it more kind of hippie style. And so, here comes in my sewing skills, and I made her a bandana. And then one of her friends wanted one, and then her friend's friend, and like, you know, just word gets around. And so I started an Etsy account just as a way to get payment, because I didn't want to have to say like, oh, if you send me a check, then, and so you have to wait a few days to get the check, they'd have to go to the post office and all this stuff. So I just set up an Etsy account, and that way we were doing custom orders. And that was in August of 2013. So in April of 2014, we actually went to our first show, and that was the first time we started stocking things on our Etsy site. So before it just said custom project for Carmela was actually one of them. So I called a girlfriend of mine, Mackenzie Bailey, and I was like, hey, help me out. What's this Etsy thing about? How do I do this? And she walked me through it. We did our first show in April of 2014. It was the, Clovis, not Big Hat Days. What the heck was it called? I think it was Clovis Fest. Anyway, it was something in Clovis, California for the rodeo, and it was an absolute wreck. I did not bring a cash box because I didn't think that I even needed to. I thought maybe I'd sell like 1 or 2 things, right? I had my sisters come over and help me, so we were just kind of making it like a little party. And so they came over. I remember in the morning we set everything up with like chicken wire and clothespins. There was bandanas, there was lace headbands, bootlace cuffs, which we ended up making thousands and thousands and thousands of those as the year went on. But so I sat there and I had a couple ones and like a 5, a little bit of change in my pockets. And I told my sisters, all right, you guys just like, I'll just hang out. If I have to go to the bathroom, I'll let you guys know. And so they took off to the Elks and they found Dollar Jello shots, and I did not see them again for about 4 hours. And when they came back, they were carrying a bookcase. I had been absolutely swarmed with customers. I had this huge pocket full. I had this like shirt with a kangaroo pocket full of cash. And I thought for sure someone, like if someone walked in and said like, I will hit you with this stick if you don't give me your money, like I had nowhere to go. I was stuck in my 10 by 10 booth surrounded by chicken wire. So we had handwritten price tags on everything. Like, and this was a long time ago, right? I feel like a lot of these brands that tell a story, they're like, oh, 1993. Like this was 2014. This was not that long ago. And like it's funny to look back on the booth now, but I hope no one ever sees a picture of it. I pray that someday we will be far enough away from that when a picture resurfaces, I won't be embarrassed. But right now, if any of you guys have those pictures, you can just feel free to delete them, burn them, bury them in your backyard, anything like that. And so we did that event, and it went much better than what we thought. And so I ended up buying a serger, and that's what I was using to make all my lace headbands and bootlace. And it was $98, and I remember thinking, there's no way this thing is ever going to pay for itself. And I was selling quite a bit through Etsy, and then Country Outfitter reached out, and they started carrying our brand. And then we ended up in a few boot barns. We ended up in a flagship Nordstrom's. We ended up in boutiques throughout the country, and then we were just doing shows like NFR and local rodeos and different handmade shows throughout the year. And so that's kind of where it started. And then we transitioned into retail, and in 2017 we brought on 10 styles of boots just to be able to pair with our mannequins in our shop, and somehow we became a boot shop, and it's a blast. So the name came from this girlfriend of mine, Sarah Kramer, and I had gone wine tasting, and it was in Paso Robles. We went to go get a pedicure after, and we had a little bit of wine in us, and so we thought, we should just have a little bit more champagne. So we had a little bit of champagne, and I busted out my BlackBerry and went on Vistaprint, and we were trying to come up with names for this Etsy site because really I just needed something that was a name, right? And I think we talked about Plain Janes, we talked about Gypsy Janes, and I guess at some point we talked about Royal Haze, and so we ordered the business cards, and the next day we were like, what the heck did we order? And we remembered that we ordered them, but we couldn't remember exactly what it was. So it was, you can look that up on your BlackBerry, right? It's not like now where you zoom in on your design and check out what it says. And so I had to wait a few days later. It was like I think it was like $10 for 50 business cards or something, and I got my 50 business cards, and it was Royal Haze. And we stuck with the name. We've had a lot of people that actually complain about it because they say, rural, I hate that word. That's such a hard word to say. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I didn't think it'd become really anything. I just thought it'd be kind of a side gig for a year or two. And then Haze, in the West, a lot of people actually think that we are a dispensary or we are a pot farm. We are neither of those things. But so I guess we kind of asked for that with the second word being Haze. For a while we had a hashtag that was hashtag Happy Hazers, and it was supposed to be you wearing your Royal Haze product, but instead it kind of took on there were a lot of people using the hashtag that were not affiliated with us and were having a lot of fun. So we kind of moved away from that one. Now we just use hashtag Royal Haze. It seems like a lot easier. How does it feel to be a brand known around the country? So that's kind of an awkward question. I don't know. It feels just like it did before, but I just have a bigger team, I guess. Like now we have, so you guys can't see them, but behind the camera is Randy, who is our on-site creative director, which is legit to have, that feels like a big deal. To me, having people buy from Vermont, oh, that's really cool, right? Being like, I have a creative director. Like, what? You have a what? Who are you? How did you get to where you are, right? That's really cool. And then Runkle is also back here, and she organizes our Facebook. She handles our returns, a lot of different special projects. And so I would say, that's the biggest change, and it makes me feel confident. It makes me feel like I have a team. It makes me feel like I'm backed up. And then also, when people email us with these stories about when they get their boots and the event they wore them to and how that made them feel, it makes you feel very honored, actually. It's a really cool feeling to be able to find someone the perfect boot for that perfect day in their life. Whether it's a concert or the day they met their husband, or, they might think that it's just any other day, but it ends up being a really significant one. And so honestly, I would just say really honored. I think it sounds really corny, but when you get those emails, there is nothing better, or those Facebook posts or Instagram tags that you just know that you've brought some smiles to someone's face. And if nothing else, we're women. We deserve to be confident. We're very powerful, and I think that if you can give someone the right shoe, that can really expand their confidence, and we're pretty proud to be able to do that.